The Cheyenne are one of the groups of indigenous people of the Great Plains, and their language is of the Algonquian language family. The Cheyenne comprise two Native American groups, the Sotio or ʃaɪʻɛn and the ʃaɪʻɛn. These tribes merged in the early 19th century. Today the Cheyenne people are split into two federally recognized groups: Southern Cheyenne, who are enrolled in the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes in Oklahoma, and the Northern Cheyenne, who are enrolled in the Northern Cheyenne tribe of the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation in Montana. The Cheyenne lived in the area of what is now Minnesota at the time of their first contact with the Europeans. Also, they were at times allied with the Lakota and Arapaho. They migrated west across the Mississippi River and into North and South Dakota in the early 18th century. They adopted the horse culture and developed a more centralized authority through ritual ceremonies and structure than other Plains Indians of the 19th century. Having settled the Black Hills of South Dakota and the Powder River country of present-day Montana, they introduced the horse culture to Lakota bands about 1730. Allied with the Arapaho, the Cheyenne pushed the Kiowa to the southern plains. In turn, they were pushed west by the more numerous Lakota. The Cheyenne Nation or ʃaɪʻɛn was at one time composed of 10 bands which spread across the Great Plains from southern Colorado to the Black Hills in South Dakota. When they gathered, the band's leaders would meet in formal council. They performed an annual arrow renewal ceremony and sun dance. They fought their traditional enemies, the Crow and later the United States Army forces. In the mid-19th century, the bands began to split, with some bands choosing to remain near the Black Hills, while others chose to remain near the Platte Rivers of central Colorado. The Northern Cheyenne, known in Cheyenne either as Notamio meaning Northern Eaters, or simply as Omesahesa meaning Eaters, live in southeastern Montana on the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation. Tribal enrollment figures, as of late 2014, indicate that there are approximately 10,840 enrolled tribal members, of which about 4,939 reside on the reservation. Approximately 91% of the population are Native Americans, with 72.8% identifying themselves as Cheyenne. Slightly more than 1/4 of the population 5 years or older spoke a language other than English. The Southern Cheyenne, known in Cheyenne as ʃaɪʻɛn meaning rope people, together with the Southern Arapaho, form the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes, in western Oklahoma. Their combined population is 12,130, as of 2008 update. In 2003, approximately 8,000 of these identified themselves as Cheyenne. Although with continuing intermarriage it has become increasingly difficult to separate the tribes' name. The Cheyenne Nation is composed of two tribes, the Sotio or ʃaɪʻɛn and the ʃaɪʻɛn, which translates to, those who are like this. These two tribes had always traveled together, becoming fully merged sometime after 1831, when they were still noted as having separate camps. The Sute were said to have originally had slightly different speech and customs from their traveling companions. The name Cheyenne may be derived from Dakota Sioux exonym for them, ʃaɪʻɛn. Though the identity of the Sahir is not known, many Great Plains tribes assume it means Cree or some other people who spoke an Algonquian language related to Cree and Cheyenne. The Cheyenne word for Ojibwa is sahio, a word that sounds similar to the Dakota word sahia. Another of the common etymologies for Cheyenne is a bit like the people of an alien speech. According to George Bird Grinnell, the Dakota had referred to themselves and fellow Siouan language bands as white talkers, and those of other language families, such as the Algonquin Cheyenne, as red talkers. Etymology of the name Sitsist as the Cheyennes call themselves is uncertain. According to the Cheyenne Dictionary, offered online by Chief Knife College, there is no definitive consensus, and various studies of the origins and the translation of the word has been suggested. Grinnell's record is typical, in which he states, they call themselves cis sisters. Sit sisters is the correct pronunciation, which the books commonly give as meaning people. It most likely means related to one another, similarly bred, like us, our people, or us. The term for the Cheyenne homeland is ʃaɪ́ɛn language. The Cheyenne of Montana and Oklahoma speak the Cheyenne language, known as ʃaɪ́ɛn. Approximately 800 people speak Cheyenne in Oklahoma. Only a handful of vocabulary differs between the two locations. The Cheyenne alphabet contains 14 letters. The Cheyenne language is one of the larger Algonquian language group. Formerly the Sautille or Saute bands of southern and northern Cheyenne spoke Sotarekakona or ʃaɪ́ɛn, a language so close to ʃaɪ́ɛn that it is sometimes termed a Cheyenne dialect.